Hey everybody, welcome to Let's Get Cinematic. This is the first episode. I've been trying to get this thing off the ground for a while. Like last week we attempted to record an episode and I messed up. None of the audio recorded except for mine. But now we've got it all fixed and we're ready to get started. So this week we are going to be talking about Amityville Thanksgiving. It's only been out for a few days. It's a new movie and it's November, so I decided that we should do this as the first episode. And today, me and Coltan are joined by Forrest Bennett, who played the Shade. He played the Reaper, I guess, like the hooded figure in the movie. And then David Perry, who played Enrique in the movie. How is everybody
Hey
doing?
guys, it's good to be on. Good to be on. Good to be on. Good to be on here. Thanks for having me on here.
Definitely, yeah. So yeah, this movie had a really low budget, and it was only shot in like 2 days, which like it's kind of like it turned out pretty decently for something that was shot like so quickly with like almost no money, I think.
Right. And to my knowledge, because I know prior Amityville movies have been shot in New Jersey, Los Angeles, and Canada. But I think, to my knowledge, I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, if someone wants to correct me on this, I believe this is the first Amityville movie to be actually filmed on Long Island.
Like even like the official ones like weren't really filmed there either.
No, those were filmed in New Jersey and
Wow.
Los Angeles, and Canada.
Yeah, I guess I wasn't really aware of that.
Yeah, the other three I'm a part of, they were filmed in L.A.
Yeah, so, so you're attached to like Amityville, Bigfoot, Thanksgiving, and is there another one?
Yeah, Shark House, Amityville Shark House.
Yeah. Because I think that one's gonna come out soon.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, I think because like in the bonus features on the Blu-ray, there was like an interview, and like Will acted like that one's getting ready to like hit shelves. I guess Lionsgate's distributing it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Lionsgate, huh?
Yeah, Lionsgate. They've distributed a couple of the like kind of indie Amityville movies. I think Lionsgate actually owns the official franchise too.
That wasn't the impression because Amityville is a public. I mean, granted, the original Amityville horror is trademarked, but I think the Amityville name is it's public domain. It's public domain.
Yeah,
so anybody can make an Amityville movie.
Yeah, because it's the name of a town, so I think like anybody can use that in their title.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, just we can't use Amityville horror because like what's
that's
said. Yeah, that's the book and the movie and everything. So
yeah,
I mean, that's true. That one's copyrighted, but
yeah.
Otherwise, Amityville, anybody can make a movie with that name in the title.
Yeah, it could be literally just any Amityville anything.
Well,
it doesn't matter what it is.
There's Amityville Vibrator. There's Amityville Gas Chamber, and like I know Amityville Gas Chamber.
Space.
Amityville Gas Chamber, the kind of goofy thing about that one is it's literally the guy who made it was kind of making fun of the whole Amityville trend when he made it. And what it is it's him sitting in a room reading a book, and the camera's just on him reading a book, and he farts every once in a while. And so he called it Amityville Gas Chamber. There's no plot. And I think it's on Tubi.
It's on Tubi. That means anything can be on Tubi.
I think it's on Tubi.
Yeah, let's do anything.
Yeah, he
watch my hour-long movie of me sitting here, read a book, and farting every once in a while.
Yeah. He has. I think he has like a can of beans, and he like eats the beans and reads the book and farts, and that's the whole thing. It's like 70 minutes of that. And people
beans.
And people were giving it like high scores, I guess, just because they thought it was like humorous that he was doing that.
That's understandable. That is understandable.
It got a lot of like
funny
five
man,
eat
beans ratings. And farts. Man
Yeah.
eats
But
beans
yeah,
and
Amityville
farts. That's a 5
Thanksgiving
star right
though
there.
was put out by SRS, which they're doing a kind of a lot of the Amityville kind of movies right now. They're doing quite a
Yeah.
few. Because I think like Amityville Bigfoot, I think they're doing that too, right?
Yeah, I think so. I know they did Camp Murder. They did Camp Murder, which I produced.
Yeah.
They distributed Camp Murder, which I produced. They're based in my home. They're actually based in my hometown of Syracuse, New York.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the stuff that Ron has put out, and like I think a lot of it kind of varies in quality. Like some of it's kind of bad, and some of it's okay, and some of it's good. Like it's he puts out like so much that like not all of it lands. But yeah, so
Yeah.
Amityville Thanksgiving though, I think one of the like my main issues with it is that there isn't a lot of like Thanksgiving going on in it. Like I guess like if there was a little bit more Thanksgiving, I think the title would make more sense to me.
A little more. Yeah, I would say that because I did watch it. I did watch it. This past week.
Yeah, I think the only thing that's really like Thanksgiving about it is the time it was released, and that was pretty much it. And like the subtle hints in some of the footage where like the date in the corners was like the day before Thanksgiving and all that.
Well, like
But I think that was pretty much it.
he mentions like Thanksgiving dinner and stuff a couple of times, but we don't ever
Yeah,
see.
but you never see the dinner.
Yeah, because he mentions like, oh, you know, they're all here to have Thanksgiving dinner with me, and then they just never do it.
Yeah. It's just implied, never shown.
Yeah, but yeah, this one it's not amazing, but the fact that it was shot in like 2 days and turned out pretty decently, I think, is pretty commendable. I actually think my favorite scene is the scene with Sean and David on the couch, and they're just like, yeah, I thought that was actually like really.
It was a good one. It was a good one.
Because like I felt like the that scene like just kind of like. I think he said that you guys had already been filming for like 15 hours or something that day on Amityville Bigfoot, and like you guys did it on the spot, like it was like improv.
Yeah, we did. You know, it was because let me think. It was I forgot if it was a Saturday or not, but I know it was like the very last day we had that location because we had just they were just wrapping Bigfoot. I wasn't working that day on that. I had finished, you know, when like was a couple of days prior to that, and then I know I had to do an extra scene for Amityville Shark House, and that was, you know, that was also going to be a cameo with Lauren Francesca, which was a lot of fun. And then I originally wasn't supposed to be in Thanksgiving. Nobody really offered it to me at first, but I guess, you know, Lauren had she was supposed to be in it, but she kind of was like, she couldn't do it for some reason. And then, you know, Sean asked me if I wanted to, you know, be in it, and I said, okay, sure, you know. Like, it'll be fun.
Not?
Okay.
Yeah, and then he told me, like, okay, you know, so basically we're just playing lovers or something like that. And I was like, really? And I'm like, oh god. I was like, what have you got me into? And I was like,
It's like, so I got this proposition for you, yeah? I'm gonna get you in on this movie. It's gonna be great. But there's a catch. We're gay lovers. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We're just gay lovers. The entire scene's us sitting on a couch talking about us being gay lovers. That's pretty much it. Yeah. You're gonna be in this movie and you're gonna be a gay lover. To me. That's how it's gonna be.
that was already like,
old. I was like, alright, bet.
Because you know what? I'm like the previous movie I was in, you know, was already some bizarre stuff happening as it is, and I was like, you know what? That is actually You know, that actually was like tame compared to like what what we were filming on Bigfoot and stuff. And I was like, what, you know, like some extra scenes that were added. You know, I can't wait for y'all to see that when the movie comes out. Well, actually, y'all probably get an idea of what happened if y'all saw the trailer for it. But
I actually haven't seen the
I was
trailer
like,
yet.
that wasn't no problem. It was like they're saying, you know, you're gonna. Like, yeah, we're just playing a couple at, you know, like couples therapy and stuff. And I was like, okay, that'll be interesting because, you know, yeah, couples at therapy have issues. So it's like,
But
I can play on that, you know?
I thought the way that whole, like, kind of conversation played out, though, actually felt pretty natural and stuff. Like, it wasn't scripted, but it felt like it could have been written. Like, it just kind of, like, went so smoothly in that scene, the back and forth.
Yeah, and then when he brought up the spanking and the whipping or whatever, and he was like, "Well, I didn't even want to do that in the first place," and he was like, "Well, then why'd you do it?"
Yeah, he was trying to like put you on the spot by doing that.
Like, no, I can tell you it was all his idea, you know? He likes it until he doesn't, okay? That's how he does it.
And I thought it was funny when when he had that whole bit where he was like upset that you didn't have hair all over you because he's like, we're supposed to be bears.
We're supposed to be bears.
Well, you know what? I have to shave sometimes, okay? I'm sorry. Oh my god.
It's gonna take a while for my hair to grow back after that wax session I had.
But yeah, and then
oh my god,
another part of the movie that I thought was weird. Like one thing I didn't think really added up was like the Frank character was like so like creepy and weird, and like the like lead actress, her character was obviously kind of like creeped out by him. Why did she end up sleeping with him anyways? Like it just felt, that part felt weird.
Well, I'll tell you. I mean, I will tell you right now because there were a lot of last second script changes made throughout this thing. I mean, I had a whole character like a set of lines I had to memorize that I got. You know, I got the script the day before I was supposed to be on set. I memorized, spent all night rehearsing my lines. I get to set. And the script's been at least my portion of the script's been tossed out and completely rewritten. So that's kind of just how that's just from working with Will on this movie, and then Silent Night Bloody Night 3, which is coming out next month. That's just my observation. It's just like with it's like with him, like you don't know I kind of learned not to that if I get a script, don't memorize it because it'll by the time you get to set, it'll be completely tossed out and rewritten.
Right? Yeah.
So,
because I think he said originally the plot was entirely different too. I think at first it was supposed to be like a home invasion movie where like it was supposed to be like a family
right.
Yeah, they're supposed to be having like their Thanksgiving dinner, and like the guy that played Frank, Mark.
Yeah.
I guess Mark was supposed to be like the grandpa, and they were all going to have Thanksgiving dinner, and then like some people were going to break in. I think they were going to be played by Will and Julie. They were going to play like these home invaders that were going to terrorize this family.
Right. And I was supposed to play like a cop or a ranger,
Okay.
who comes in like in the middle of someone who comes in the middle of this whole invasion. And I was supposed to get my head crushed by like one of them was supposed to like take me down and crush my head with a rock.
Oh.
Which I was looking forward to dying a gruesome death.
That sounds epic.
But
that was absolutely getting your skull crushed by a rock.
Exactly. That would have been because this was my first time acting in a feature film,
right?
And that would have been a hell of a way to make a debut. But I got the set. The script had been taught. That whole plot had been tossed away, that whole script had been tossed away, and so they tossed me a prop robe. They tossed me a prop robe, like a cloak, like a robe, like an execution, like a Grim Reaper robe. Put me in some makeup and give me a prop weapon and say I'm doing the killing. So I'm like, oh sweet.
Yeah.
All right, I'm killing people this time instead of dying.
Be my own Freddy or Jason.
So basic, like, yeah. So your character's sort of like a demon entity that's sort of influencing the couples and stuff. Basically.
Yes. Yes, and I kind of just hover in and out of places around the cabin, stalking his client, Frank's clients, and offing them.
Yeah, you definitely had something to do with the Ouija board as well.
Yeah. I forgot the actor's name, but I know the character's name was Danny. I think when he used the Ouija board is basically when your character kind of got summoned into the whole thing.
Yeah, because that was when we first saw him come in. Was when he started messing around.
Paul. That was Paul Fagione. That's the actor's name.
Yeah, Paul.
Okay.
Yeah, and I remember also, I guess this was kind of a different role for Paul because, like, in the past, he's always been kind of like cast as a mobster and stuff, and like his accent and his look really does kind of give off that vibe. Like Coltan was saying that the whole time he was watching it, he didn't even know that he was cast as a mobster a lot. And he was already saying it like while we were watching it.
Like he just looked like a mobster, and I was just like, he was definitely an ex-mob boss for sure.
I mean, I believe Mark Fulhard, the producer and also our lead actor who plays Frank. I believe he did have a small part. Yes, he did have. He had a small part in The Irishman.
Oh, really?
Mm.
Yes. So a lot of actors. So there's quite a few actors in this production that have worked on who've worked on mob movies, mob shows.
Yeah, I never watched The Irishman, but I might have to watch it now just to kind of see him pop up in that. Cause that's like a pretty big movie because Martin Scorsese did that, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's Martin Scorsese, Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, and also Al Pacino working with Scorsese for the first time. I know there was a few scenes of that movie. I know several parts of that movie were filmed actually around mine because I live in New York. I live on Long Island, and I know several scenes were filmed around my neighborhood.
Oh yes, yeah, that's kind of cool. So yeah, that's probably why they got him in there because he was already close to it. And he probably like walked in and got in that. But yeah, so the Frank character though is like. I guess they were sort of maybe trying to set it up for like a sequel of some sort because like nothing really gets resolved at the end with his character or anything, and I think Will wants Ron to like let him do a sequel to this.
Sequel, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see how this does. Let's see how this does. I hope. I mean, I know this movie's been getting a lot of viral buzz. Hopefully that's enough to generate interest in another one.
Yeah, I think the title alone was kind of interesting enough because people are going to be like, "What?" Like when they see the title. And I know a lot of
we were getting mentioned in Vulture magazine, like Vulture, on Bloody Disgusting. Fangoria covered us.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Yeah, so actually there might end up being a lot of eyes on this, like eyes that aren't used to indie movies, I think.
The indie horror.
Yeah. Because I know I went, like, sometimes, like, if I'm at Walmart or something, I'll see a movie that says, like, Amityville on the title, and a lot of these, like, everyday people that aren't used to this kind of thing would probably just think, oh, it's an Amityville sequel. And they'll just buy it, not knowing what it is because of that title. And I think Amityville Thanksgiving is just one of those titles that'll get people that are like sort of casual watchers. Just they'll be like, "Oh, it's Amityville horror sequel,"
right?
Even though it's really not. Like I feel like a lot of eyes.
Familiarity.
Yeah, the familiarity of it will like kind of just bring a lot of people in. So I think it's going to be kind of interesting to see like a lot of the feedback from that. And I know like when a lot of mainstream viewers watch indie movies, since they're used to big budget movies, they always end up trashing indie movies. I've seen a lot of that. Like I don't know if you guys have seen a lot of that too, but like I'll see reviews and like people will trash these indie movies because they're just not used to the smaller like productions, I guess.
Yeah, they're used to the big budget movies that have epic explosions in it.
Yeah,
They're not used to these small budget, low crew movies.
But like I've seen like hundreds of these like small budget movies.
I mean, I grew up on. I mean, I'll just straight up say right now, I grew up on Troma. So
yeah.
And that like that. Right, those guys right there are the kings of like truly independent film.
Actually,
I've worked on some stuff with them. I've worked on a couple of projects with them.
Oh, like which ones?
Well, I did play the Toxic Avenger in an ad for their streaming service Troma Now.
Oh
no!
Yes, I wore. Yep, I wore I had the Toxie mask. I had the tutu, the mop. That was a lot of fun to play, especially play such an iconic character like to play such an iconic character. Because I grew up I grew up watching the Toxic Avenger cartoon in the '90s, and to go from that to like be Toxie in officially, I'm like, that was crazy. That was surreal.
Yeah,
and then
that's wild.
And then and then this year I was an extra. I was an actor person, as Lloyd Kaufman refers to background actors and extras in one of their upcoming movies called Bring on the Damned, which is an anthology horror directed by Brandon Basham, who did the Slashing and the Slashing 2: The Final Beginning.
The Slashing to the Final Beginning.
The beginning.
That's
yes, and I also have a special. Yes, I also have a special thanks credit on Return to Nuke 'Em High Volume 2, which that was the first Troma project I got involved with, and it's and for me it was pretty weird. It was a little weird seeing, it was a little weird seeing my name on the credits alongside Dan Lee, Lemmy, and the Angry Video Game Nerd.
Yeah,
like whose work I've grown up with.
Yeah, actually, kind of how I kind of got into movies in the first place was I watched a lot of like Troma in high school, and Troma sort of like brought me into like Troma and Full Moon through watching all that stuff. I just kind of got really into movies, and then I was just like trying to buy up all kinds of movies, watch every movie I could.
Right, and the great thing about those movies, as well as for me, the movies that maybe really want to make movies or want to work on movies were the Toxic Avenger, Clerks, John Waters movies, and the original Halloween from 1978. Like, those movies made me realize that anyone can make a movie, and you don't need to go to Hollywood to do it. You don't need to go to Hollywood or have $1 million to make a movie.
Yeah. Because like when I was in high school, I watched all the Toxic Avenger movies. I watched the first 4 Nuke 'Em High movies in high school: Poultrygeist, Tromeo and Juliet, and Terra Firma. Like Tromeo and Juliet, Tromeo and Juliet and Terra Firma, I think were the 2 that really did it for me. Like, kind of really brought me in. Because before that, before high school, I only watched movies on like a very casual level. I didn't watch movies very often at all. But after watching the Troma movies, it kind of got me into watching movies more, and then from there I started getting into more like lower budget stuff too, to where like now I just watch like pretty much anything.
Right.
But yeah, so yeah, you said so this isn't like your only acting role that you're gonna do. Like, you said you're gonna be in Silent Night, Bloody Night 3. Like, you're actually gonna have a role in that?
I mean, the movie's already been complete. That one's actually been completed already. It's coming out next month, in time for Christmas.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about covering like the whole Silent Night, Bloody Night franchise, but I don't know if I'll have enough time, because we're only going to do this podcast every other week.
Right. Just so you know, there's only 3 Silent Night. because I know I'm pretty sure there's people who probably get them confused. But there's Silent Night, Bloody Night, and then there's Silent Night, Deadly Night. That was the one with the killer Santa Claus.
Yeah. Well, there's actually 4 Silent Night, Bloody Night movies now. So the original came out in the 70s. They did a remake.
The second one came out like 10 years ago.
Yeah, they did a remake a couple years ago. And there's the...
Although I think... Wait, isn't that remake... Oh, wait. Are you talking about the Silent Night, Deadly Night remake or the...
No, yeah, there's a Silent Night, Bloody Night remake. It's called Silent Night, Bloody Night Homecoming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a British movie.
I don't... It was a what movie?
It was a British movie. It was made in over in the UK.
Okay, yeah, I'm seeing it's got Adrian King from Friday the 13th as one of the leads.
Well, it's just her voice. They had her do like a phone call, I think, from what I remember. But yeah, I was gonna try to cover all of those next month, but because we're only doing this every other week, I think I'll probably do maybe only 2 Christmas movies next month. But yeah, for this one, since we're starting in November, I just kind of really wanted to do Amityville Thanksgiving because it's a new movie and
Thanksgiving's coming up.
Yeah, it's. I guess another sort of complaint, smaller complaint I had was so the movie kind of flows pretty decently, and then when you get about to the 50-minute mark, it just becomes a series of interviews and stuff instead of the plot. I don't feel like the plot really is there in the last 20 minutes or so. The last 20 minutes, the plot doesn't feel very strong, and that was probably because they didn't have enough. I guess they didn't have enough time to film things that maybe they wanted to film, so it kind of felt like they just kind of asked some of their friends hey, could you guys hop on camera and just kind of shoot something for us real quick. It's kind of how it felt to me there at the end.
Right. I mean, I was on set for only one. I mean, yeah, I'm not sure exactly how long the shoot went, but I was only on set for one. I was only on set for one day. Just got all my scenes knocked out in 9 hours.
Yeah. He said it was
and then
a 2-day shoot.
Yeah, 2 days, but yeah, I was only on set for one, and it was not. We shot for 9 hours. And then I went home. And
that's not 9 hours to shoot everything.
That's a fast because I worked on film.
And that's including all the makeup and stuff that was needed to be done. Especially in that one scene where he gets hit in the other couple therapist guy gets hit in the face and his jaw is absolutely gone.
That was my handiwork.
Oh, you made that?
No. I was the one who smacked him.
He's the one who hit him.
Yeah, because that was me. Yeah, you killed that guy.
But yeah, I know most film shoots take about 12. Most film shoots are 12 to 16 hour days. No, 9 hours. We got it done in 9 hours.
Oh, and that other couples therapist, we kind of thought he looked sort of like a discount Bob Odenkirk, so we were calling him instead of Saul Goodman, we were calling him Paul Badman.
Wow.
He kind of looked like he had that vibe going on. And the commentary track, Will said that actor actually had COVID.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And nobody knew. Nobody knew. A day, he said a day or two later, he called Will and he's like, "Oh, I just got COVID." He's like, "I just tested positive." And Will
I did. Yeah, I think I tested. Yeah, I remember. I remember that. I tested myself, but it came up negative.
Yeah, and Will's Will said he was glad that nobody caught it. None of you guys knew that he had it. He didn't even know.
Wow, that's scary. Somebody
strange virus for sure.
And then I know Mark and the lead actress, both of them were sick the entire time too, I guess.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Mark. Yeah, Natalie Perry.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess the two of them were like just sick the whole time, and kind of like I couldn't really tell that she was sick, but I could kind of tell Mark was, because he looked like he was like having kind of a rough time.
Yeah, no, we really tried to like because I know he wasn't feeling because he wasn't him and Natalie weren't feeling till like we really tried to like rush to try and get like all their scenes done too.
Because then I know like Paul and Natalie, they like filmed like that sex scene was kind of goofy, because like when he's coming up the stairs, he's kind of got this whole Frankenstein sort of like that. I don't think it was supposed to be intentionally funny, but that scene was kind of funny. But then I know when they tried to do like with Mark and Natalie, instead of like shooting a sex scene, they kind of just used like stock footage of like people's legs and under some covers, because like I guess like both of them were so sick they couldn't film like any sort of sex scene at all, because they were like in too much pain and stuff.
Oh wow! Wonder what was wrong with them.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Mark, they said he was having heart troubles is what it ended up being, because I think after they wrapped filming, he ended up in the hospital with heart failure or something. And then also like towards the end of the movie, Mark has like on screen they put like an oxygen like he has an oxygen tank, like the tubes are in his nose and stuff. And I guess I don't know. They had to kind of like write it into the movie, and they made it to where like Frank was also kind of sickly or something. So I don't know if Frank died like off screen, but I mean Will wants to do a sequel, so I guess they would just have it to where he recovers or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll find out. Yeah, I mean we'll find out. I'm sure we'll find out soon enough.
And then towards the end, 3 of the interview people. So one of them was played by Phil Herman, who was also sort of like an indie director himself.
Yes,
he plays like a news. Yeah, he plays like a news anchor, and I guess Frank abducted his character's daughter, and so I guess if they do a sequel, he would be like after Frank. And then I know Tim Hatch played a character whose sister was like abducted by Frank, and so his character would also probably be in the sequel. And there was one other guy, like there's this guy with like he has like sunglasses on, and he's got like a black and white filter, and he keeps like taking his sunglasses down. Like that guy, I guess they would try to get the 3 of them to do a sequel, I think, is like what kind of like the plan is, because all 3 of those characters kind of have like sort of like motives to like try to track Frank down. So that's kind of like what I'm guessing is like they would probably try to do something with those characters for like a sequel. And it looks like so Avery Crumley has like a small little bit in this too. And I guess his character is like the only person to survive Frank. Is kind of what it looks like. He's like the sole survivor of Frank, cuz like none of the other characters like made it.
He was the one that looked like he was just like sitting on the floor.
Yeah, that was Avery.
That okay.
Yeah. He's supposed to be like his girlfriend got abducted, but he made it. I don't know why Mark didn't try to get him. Like I don't know why Frank didn't try to get him, because I mean, you basically have a witness at that point.
Yes, he just didn't know where he was.
Yeah, so like that's kind of what got him. I think that's supposed to be the reason he finally basically got brought up in the public eyes. But if he's been doing this for years and people were disappearing the whole time, then I don't know how they didn't notice anything before, though. Because like that whole time, if he's abducting people, you would think somebody would catch on to it.
Well, it's only once a year.
Yeah, but I mean, if he's doing it for years and years, like, eventually people are gonna say, like, hey, this guy, every time somebody visits him on Thanksgiving, they're just gone. But, like, nobody really did that until the other therapist showed up.
I guess because people didn't really understand what was actually going on until the other therapist showed up.
I mean, maybe, but I don't know why nobody else would have noticed it.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't know.
But yeah, for this one, I don't really know if I have very much more to add to it, unless like some of you, like either of you, any of you guys have anything else to add to the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't. I still haven't watched the whole movie yet.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
you really only know about your scenes.
yeah, just my.
I mean, I watched the movie. I did watch the movie, but I'll have to. But I guess, I'll have to watch it again. Honestly, like I'll have to watch it because I'll have to watch it again myself. Because like usually when it because I guess I'm on another podcast called Inside Movies Galore where I have to watch all kinds of movies and usually I have to watch them at least. I have to watch them at least a couple times just to let them sink.
I think Septum Sin's on that one.
Yeah, yes, yep. Septum Sin. I co-host that with him and David Strigi.
Yeah. So
I know that whole crew.
how often?
I'm with that whole crew.
Do you guys like upload often?
I mean, we do it every Tuesday. We do it every Tuesday.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I wasn't too. I'm not super familiar with that podcast actually, but I mean, I've heard it mentioned a lot here lately. But yeah, if you guys don't really have much else to add, I think we can go ahead and wrap things up for this episode.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
I will say that if I'm in a sequel, I would love to come back like Bobby Rhodes in the Demon movies, just come back in another role or something.
yeah, because the
I will say right now that I'll say right now it's pretty. I mean, like I said, it's. I mean, we've been getting a lot of coverage. You know, we've been getting a lot of coverage. It's pretty. I mean, for me, it's been because I didn't grow up. I didn't grow up in the movie. I didn't grow up in the movie business. I don't live any. I mean, I live in New York, and yeah, there's a lot of movies and TV shows that are filmed here. And a lot of celebrity, you see, if you go around like Manhattan, you'll see a lot of celebrities. But like I'm still like not in that whole scene. I'm still like not. I didn't grow up in that whole scene. Seeing something that I was part of being covered by all these major horror and entertainment outlets like Fangoria, like Bloody Disgusting, like Vulture. It's pretty crazy. I actually left a comment on Bloody Disgusting's Facebook page, telling them how much I appreciated the coverage, and with a lot of these comments, you get a lot of people who say, "Oh, this is shit. This sucks." So I left a comment. I generally got a lot of positive feedback, but I got at least one comment telling me that I sucked.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that you posted that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm laughing about. I mean, people were telling me don't let him get you down, but no, believe me, I was having a laugh about that.
Yeah,
as you should.
It's probably one of those guys that just isn't used to these lower budget movies, and so when he watched it, it was just too sort of disorienting for him. Where he's just like, this isn't, because a lot of people when they watch stuff like this, they're like, this isn't a movie, even though it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really have much else to add. Like, this movie is sort of a shorter movie. I don't think there's like a lot to really kind of pack in with this one. It's pretty straightforward, and I feel like we've talked about all the highlights. So yeah, thank you. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I want to thank Forrest, Bennett, and David Perry for coming on to the show. And we will see you next time.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be to be featured as a celebrity guest.
Yeah.
It's an honor to have a celebrity here. Am I right? Am I right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll see you next time.